Virtuoso go demo, let Metza and Relating Wave sit back, play defense, wait for their chances. Will that work against a team with the of the caliber of Vitality? That's the question.
And we will get our answer at the end of this best of 7. For Endpoint, a real true test. Best of 7s are marathons, and Vitality, they are no stranger to this point in any tournament. And already it's KDOP putting up a demo against Relating Wave. Alpha takes a shot, but Metanaris able to dive back for the save. So already very fast for Vitality, breaking out of their own half. Metanaris will pitch it back down the field again. He's had kind of a reawakening this weekend on the with his addition to Endpoint.
Certainly, Metza's a player that's been around for such a long time. I even remember getting to spend time with him during Gold Rush 2. He came out to California. We hung out. He's just a really good guy. Even, you look at his Twitter and you see just the transformation that he's had in his own life with his health has been really impressive. Metanaris, his ability to stay on top of the game is up there with the likes of Garrett, the likes of Kronovi, the likes of Cookster. It's amazing to see him still in it at this level performing. And he's a guy that you really do want to cheer for. And it's fun to see Endpoint doing so well with him being on the team.
And they're having to play some defense, another clear. And Metanaris there for the follow-up, and it's going to be a goal. Relating Wave picking up Metza's pass.
Metza off the ceiling, getting that down. Good communication. Virtuoso also diving on that ball a bit, but they caught Vitality out. And that is so important to be able to be that first player to the ball. If Metza doesn't have a player beneath him, doesn't have a teammate beneath him, a lot of times you're giving up a goal in those situations. So that is not necessarily a play you want to rely on taking place. So Endpoint, they get away with one there. It could have been much worse. And we'll see if they can keep holding off this Vitality offense, which is already starting to pepper in shots.
Yeah, you see that threat, the pass from KDOP into Fairy Peak, who has been really good at finding the back of the net in recent times. And those passes, they're really good at masking them. As you see KDOP approaching it, you're not exactly sure where exactly he's going to pass it. Next thing you know, it almost feels like a no-look, but here come Endpoint, pended the other way. Relating Wave ran out of boost.
And Virtuoso was right on KDOP's tail. He was chasing him down. So they're not trying to change up the plan at all. They are still sticking with that demo gameplay. Virtuoso bullying Fairy Peak on the goal line.
And that has to be almost jarring for Fairy Peak because Virtuoso is kind of rotating out, but then he just whips back around, does a 180, and just starts chipping away at him. Pass to Virtuoso, but it's too wide. And Fairy Peak and Alpha will work to try to carry this out, but Virtuoso taking the ball away. Back to Relating Wave, another touch, double tap into the net, and it's a 2-point lead for Endpoint.
This point-blank double tap was filthy. Relating Wave getting it by KDOP, that slight boost adjustment. You even saw Fairy Peak cheating up. He thought that that Relating Wave was not going to get a shot on target. He thought he was going to double tap that back into the wall and try to pass it to a teammate. But what placement in a tough spot. Gorgeous shot.
Endpoint, just under half the game to go, and they're winning tough touches in Vitality territory. Metanaris just getting back to that touch in midfield. Fairy Peak does find KDOP, but it'll be difficult for Fairy Peak to follow anything with no boost. Alpha will win a challenge, and we'll just have to let the ball fly where it may off the backboard. And right now, Endpoint doing a stellar job on defense with his clears.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Relating Wave was so calm on the backboard. He was able to handle the ball, prevent the bounce, and then beat another defender. And then he was picking up help from his teammates to get the clear. The defense from Endpoint has been something else, and that is an enjoyable thing to see. It makes you think back to Mock It back in the old days, their defensive style of play where they would let people in and then look for the counterattacks and just save shots and save opportunities that you didn't think were even savable. And that's what Endpoint's doing, but finally beaten out by Alpha. If there was one to do it, one to beat the defense, it would be Alpha.
Talk about unsavable, James. That shot 129 kilometers per hour into the top corner. Accuracy and power. And another beautiful pass from KDOP. He's been dishing them out today. You know, they talked about it on the desk a little bit. You know, KDOP had had a weak day one for the spring series, but that's not the first pass that he's easily dished to his teammates, but they actually find net this time. They still need one more with under a minute left.
And even with a weak day one, K-Dop's still hitting overtime winners. So you just expect more from K-Dop, seeing how much he can do. But I think Vitality is always threatening, even K-Dop on his off days. One of the best players in the world. But that shot, Jorby, 80 miles an hour. What was it in kilometers you said?
129.
129. I don't even know how you get that much power on the ball without it being a pinch. That was quite the strike.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, we're seeing it more consistently now. I feel like it's almost once per day, maybe sometimes twice, that we see a shot hit the 130-kilometer mark. And players are just getting so good at putting their nose right on the ball for perfect power. Time running out. Endpoint close it down. Can Vitality have one more shot? Well, Virtuoso cuts in. He'll take the ball away, and Endpoint, a very, very strong start here to game one. Vitality had a lot of threatening opportunities, and Endpoint, they held on. They win game one.
They did. This is going to be a long best of 7, Jorby. I can already tell this game, this was a defensive showcase from Endpoint. They had to keep, multiple chances at bay. They were able to do it. But my question is, will this offense hold up for Endpoint? Both the goals they scored, you think back, one of them, it was the ceiling pass down for Metzenaris where they scored all the way from their own half. I don't really think that's very repeatable for Endpoint. And then the other play was just a sensational point-blank double tap from Relating Wave. So I wonder, the longer we go on in this series, will Endpoint's offense be able to generate against Vitality, and can their defense continue to hold up like it did in this game?
And we won't see it on the highlight reel, but even further to your point, James, Vitality's defense, there was a play where Fairy Peak was caught against Virtuoso. It was a 2-on-1, and he had to catch the ball on his back wall, try to screen against his own net, keep it away from two different defenders, and he did such a great job managing it and getting the ball out. He even got the clear the whole way down the pitch. It's just that's the level of skill that you're dealing with in a player like Fairy Peak and a team like Vitality. I absolutely agree that their offense, after that first half, had some great solo efforts by Relating Wave and Metzenaris off that clear. It's going to be tough for sure, but game number 2 will get underway. Vitality trying to tie the series up. Can Endpoint possibly take a 2-game lead? We'll find out right now.
Virtuoso did make an impact on that game. He didn't land many demos, but he was still forcing people out of position, slowing down counterattacks by going for the demos. And he's not changing up the game plan, and it's working as we see a demo come out on the back player, Fairy Peak.
Oh, K-Dop Alpha tried to hop in front. He'll get another clear out. Endpoint now on point for Virtuoso. Fairy Peak on the challenge will give way for K-Dop, so Vitality stop push downfield. They're going to push themselves. Fairy Peak squaring up against one. Ooh, and Alpha, the ball just a little too powerful for him. He's forced back, having to rely on K-Dop now. Could have been a chance for Vitality to really start to lock the midfield down. Now Endpoint are back in the orange half. Virtuoso, another carry. It'll just be him as the rest of Endpoint waiting for that rebound touch. Relating Wave will pick that up. And the light touch from K-Dop will just be Metzenaris's. That'll be a long clear. It's going to be taken away. And we're playing a little bit of boomer ball with some touches in midfield, but other than that, no one really able to find a real opportunity in front of the box just yet. Here's one that's high above the crossbar. Metz puts it off the crossbar. No good for Endpoint.
But that was a fantastic chance for Endpoint. And even the defense, where they choose to clear it, when they choose to go for it has been impressive. Even on that last play, Metzenaris goes up very early with low boost, but he knew that Relating Wave was in the corner on the wall, and that allowed them to get a quick counterattack because Virtuoso was then waiting for Relating Wave's hit, but K-Dop beats out a Metzenaris who was low on boost. And K-Dop, that is the striking you expect.
Yeah, he had Metz beat the whole time. You said it, James. really just had to put it on target, kept the ball close. Always that first touch off the wall. That's most important, and he nails it again. So Vitality. It was Endpoint to score. I think they scored twice before Vitality were able to get on the board in game one. But now Vitality have taken control. Endpoint won it right back as they work downfield, but they'll have to retreat now after a botched play in the corner. High ball for Fairy Peak. K-Dop looking for the shot. He missed it by a pixel. Endpoint headed back to Vitality territory. Looking for a read. Metzenaris will go for a bump as he screens across, but Alpha's got control. Now battle in midfield again. Vitality trying to keep Endpoint out of their own half. Ooh, K-Dop going for the bump on the Virtuoso. Finding the pass to Metzenaris on the rebound. Fairy Peak will carry it out. Just when you think Endpoint have something going, Vitality, they punch it right back the other way, and they're in Endpoint territory.
But if you're Endpoint, you're happy with the chances you're getting. You're getting some good looks on net. They can't find the shot, and their Relating Wave hits it away from Virtuoso. But we've seen two very good scoring chances from Endpoint that they haven't been able to score, so they're not being outclassed. Vitality and Endpoint are very well matched at the moment.
Alpha on the carry. He's got a little bit more boost, and the touch just could not get past Virtuoso. And Metzenaris, crucial follow-up on defense for the save. K-Dop forcing the challenge out towards Alpha, who can only slow down Metzenaris on his approach towards the net. Shot on, and it's good! Metzenaris carries it himself, and we got a tie game.
And he just stayed with the ball the whole time. The pre-flip. Fairy Peak couldn't get back in time. Vitality had to watch it roll in. Metza keeping the ball close to his car, not giving up possession. He is so smart with how he uses his boost. And he made some magic happen there. There was not much of a window for him to use.
Not at all. But with a tie game this late, the tension gets just a little bit higher. In game two, Relating Wave. Looking to the corner for Metz. Ooh, and Relating Wave was playing the block in front. K-Dop pops the route in front of the box. It's gotta be. It's saved. Metzenaris again. Relating Wave the follow-up. Alpha trying to buy time. He might turn it into an attack, but Metzenaris got in front again, and Virtuoso will carry it downfield. Back and forth. Metz, another high ball. They'll actually miss that corner boost on the side, too, as Vitality pushed down the field. Alpha looking for a shot. He'll pop it up around. He actually finds K-Dop, but there's Relating Wave barely for the save. Endpoint hanging on by a thread on defense. But they do so well. 25 seconds remaining. Up high again, Alpha. Chop straight down. So many shots, you're almost thinking it's going to come for Vitality. K-Dop sends one in front, but the rest of Vitality have to wait for this boomer. Alpha. Stop in front of his own ramp. Virtuoso picks up the demo. Metzenaris will have to wait for the rebound. He doesn't have it. It will be cleared downfield. Game two's in overtime.
And this is an important game here. At Endpoint, if they can get out to this 2-0 lead, that is going to be something else. I don't think anyone really expected it. Even the desk, Gibbs was talking about how Vitality would be the end of Endpoint, but it's proven to be otherwise at the moment. And this win here, this could be the momentum that really could push them over the top.
Now Virtuoso trying to get the clear. Another shot, and is saved right down the middle of the field. K-Dop picks it back up. K-Dop on the carry. Another defend by Metzenaris. And he'll jump in front of that in midfield, but on top of it, Alpha, can he get back to it for a pass? No. Relating Wave kicks it up high in front of the box on the challenge. Endpoint desperately looking for a clear. They got space finally. Virtuoso in the corner, sends it in front of the box. Speed is across. Vitality trying to now hold off Endpoint on this attack. Alpha attempted clear, denied by Virtuoso in midfield. It is an absolute brawl right now in midfield for possession. Now one player gone. It's Relating Wave. Fairy Peak with a little bit of space, just couldn't get his nose on it. Alpha punches it in reverse, and Endpoint got to head back to Vitality territory. Relating Wave wants a pass to nobody, and we're just back and forth with these opportunities. Here's Fairy Peak looking up, and it's just pitched off. It'll be a free goal for Alpha 54. Vitality take game 2.
Fairy Peak getting up there. Metza had to get the touch, and he failed to do so. Easy goal for Alpha. Fairy Peak picking up the assist in a big game for Vitality. They prevent Endpoint from getting that leap ahead.
And so Vitality able to take that game. It was real close. And James, I won't lie to you. I'm a little Mr. Roboto right now, so I have to be careful. But I really like how Endpoint looked at the end there. They put together some good pushes, just did not pan out. And then all it takes is that one miss on the backboard and Vitality punish.
You know, I was impressed with what Endpoint was able to do for the most part. They had some really good looks. They just didn't have that finishing ability. We're even seeing it on the offensive end. They're stepping on each other's toes a little bit, whereas Vitality is keeping the rotations tight. They're playing very well on offense, and they're not playing spectacularly. They're not playing to what we've seen them play at, and I think a lot of that is due to the physical game of Endpoint and how Endpoint plays. But Endpoint, they just came up a little bit short, and this was what I was worried about for Endpoint is the offensive production. The one goal they got this game was from a Metzenara solo play. So I still have my questions on if this strategy can really work for Endpoint against a team like Vitality. Right now, it's neck and neck, and it's seeming like the games are just coming down to those very few big moments, whether it be a mistake or whether it be an 80-mile-an-hour, 129-kilometer-an-hour shot. And that's just what that's just what it looks like it's coming down to, Jorby. So this is a long best of 7. We're in for a treat still.
We will see how Endpoint respond for sure. And to your earlier point, James, when it comes to Virtuoso, I believe he only has one registered demo in this series so far. And he's, like you said, he's been going for him too, but he's having a lot of trouble finding Vitality players to take out of the pitch. Will he find some more luck, or not luck, but find some more cars to blow up, give his team some more space? Only time will tell as Vitality take control here in game number 3. Vitality are that team. It's like once they figure it out against you, they're really hard to really crack after they've gotten you figured out. You heard Violent Panda say it during his post-game interview as the shot comes in saved by K-Dop, that they have to prepare for Vitality. It's the only team who feels like they really have to prepare for just because of how tough they are. And that shot never comes as K-Dop just picks it up right off the touch from Metzenaris. Alpha 54 so speedy off the rebound, and it'll be a goal for Vitality.
And this was perfect placement, a long shot. You could see Relating Wave coming in, and Alpha puts it near post. And almost getting there was Relating Wave, but he just wasn't fast enough. Vitality, they strike first, so the question now becomes, can Endpoint battle back from behind? And like you alluded to, Jorby, Vitality is one of those teams that the more they see you play, the more they sense your style, the harder it becomes. But Virtuoso gets a key dunk, and he'll tie it up for Endpoint.
Beautiful here. It was too committing on the backboard for Vitality, and Virtuoso has the perfect read against K-Dop, who just went, he had to be so desperate for that clear, could not get it. Virtuoso hopped the route. Well done taking advantage of the chaos on the backboard.
And it's
Endpoint is good breather.
It's fortunate for Endpoint as well, because that was a shooting opportunity that didn't really come to fruition. I don't think he was expecting, or Relating Wave was expecting the ball to bounce out to him like that. Kind of surprised him, but Virtuoso lined up that dunk on K-Dop, and it looked like K-Dop might have even ran into Fairy Peak potentially. But regardless, Endpoint, they get the goal, and now we've got another tie game. These games have been so close.
Really have, and it's been Vitality having to put on a consistently solid defensive performance against this Endpoint squad. That's a great pass, but blocked by Metz. Fairy Peak having to veer off wide right, and the clear will be Endpoints as Alpha tries to carry it out. Back over to K-Dop. Bouncer will be saved by Virtuoso. Virtuoso, another carry. He'll take it himself. He had Metzenaris next to him, but works well enough for a challenge to give yourself possession in the orange half. You had to square up against one, but Alpha wins another challenge, flicks it up, and that's all it takes. That's 2 for Alpha.
Alpha did this yesterday as well. He's just one of those players that can do work. Every ounce of boost used for the cause. Alpha beating Relating Wave yet again. Now 2 up for Vitality, or 2-1 rather. 2 goals, both coming from Alpha. And that is the kind of offensive production that you can only dream of from Alpha.
It's just winning these massive challenges in midfield and putting himself in really solid one-on-one situations, which is not where you want to be if you're a defender against Alpha 54. He'll have the ball again here. Gave himself the option on the flip reset. He's an absolute sledgehammer for Vitality.
The flip reset ground pinch. Look at that. Oh, man. Metzenaris, he was expecting it, and he still wasn't able to save it.
The danger of the flip reset is shown right there. You don't have to use it, but when a player to the caliber of Alpha has it in his back pocket, you have to respect it. And that's exactly where he punishes you, and K-Dop makes a great save off the shot for Virtuoso. Now Fairy Peak looking for a clear. He's not going to get it. K-Dop will just send it straight down. Not the best touch. Demo will open it up clean for Virtuoso, and Endpoint are still in it.
And Metzenaris must have been watching the film, taking a page out of Virtuoso's book, realizes that Alpha is the only player that could stop this shot. So Metza just locks in, takes him out, and we're back to a 1-goal game.
Pinch out midfield. One mistake might be all it needs for Endpoint, but the pass taken away by K-Dop. K-Dop hopped on front, or excuse me, Alpha hopping in front of that challenge. Endpoint looking for a way in for a tie game. Virtuoso on the back end will have the clear. Relating Wave will take Alpha out. It'll actually just put him right back where he needs to be. And K-Dop will find the challenge in midfield. Endpoint now in danger. Fairy Peak off the backboard, and K-Dop, or excuse me, Alpha, picking the ball back up. K-Dop next up, and he won't get there. It's cleared away by Metzenaris. Vitality looking for get back that insurance. Can they find it? Endpoint are running out of time here with 45 seconds left. Virtuoso demoed by Alpha 54 on his way back in the rotation. Look for Fairy Peak, and it's through! Flex your guns for Fairy! 4 goals for Vitality.
Virtuoso getting a taste of his own medicine. K-Dop gets that out to the middle, and that wasn't an open net for Fairy Peak. He side flips into that and throws a change up at net. That made the defenders flip right by, and Fairy Peak able to thread the needle on that one past the defenders who were looking to make that save. That was not a gimme.
Now Endpoint are just trying to throw the ball downfield, hoping for a favorable contest, but they're not going to get it. Fairy Peak, easy double taps. He's dancing all over him.
And the game started with a hint of Alpha and ends with a nice touch of Fairy Peak. Back-to-back goals, a crisp little double tap, and Vitality, their engines are roaring.
No need to stop at the gas station for Vitality. A clean game 3. Only real two mistakes, I guess. So not exactly the cleanest, but when you score 5 goals, does it really matter for Vitality? Not at all. One more shot, it will be in for Virtuoso, but we're essentially in garbage time here in game 3.
And this is going to be tough. We have seen this before. 2 goals in 6 seconds, I think, is the fastest we've really seen a comeback happen. So we'll have to see some kickoff magic. What kind of set pieces does Endpoint have in these situations?
Now Virtuoso will take it, but time will run out before he can get there. Does he get one for the road? No, Alpha. He's there to take the ball away. And all 3 players of Vitality get that touch to kill the ball, and just like that, they're on top in the series 2-1.
And what an impressive Impressive post-game celebration from Alpha. Did you see that, Derby?
I ended up missing it, James. I
That
looked
is
at my other monitor for one
shame.
second.
Hopefully the stream didn't miss that too. I don't know
It
if
definitely did.
he was able to like flip cancel into a handstand or bumper stand, whatever you want to call it. And then he gave us a little tire wiggle. And that is the type of car control that Alpha uses on offense. The same ones he's using in the post game, he's using in the real game. And he was making an impact early, a hat trick from Alpha, pinpoint accurate shots. Not much you can do if you're Endpoint.
So you're saying he's got the S-tier tire wiggles?
I think his car control is almost unbeatable.
Fair enough. I mean, he absolutely showcased it in that game. And I mean, a couple of the opportunities he was given just came from really solid challenges in midfield and quick one-on-one opportunities in front of the net where, you know, he's, like you said, his car control just gives him the ability to have his way with defenders that way. Rarely does Alpha lose 1v1s on the ground if he's given the opportunity. And I really liked how he looked overall in that series. And Endpoint, I feel like they're starting to get into the situation that we see some teams get into when it feels like they're starting to lose control of the series, James, where they start kicking the ball away, and not really looking for the control. It's
going to happen to anyone. You saw Fairy Peak at the end of the game, Alpha at the start of the game. That sensational flip reset ground pinch goal. It's tough to defend against that no matter who you are. If you're Endpoint, when you've got Fairy and Alpha both popping off, it's going to be a tough thing to stop.
Well, Endpoint do start on offense, and Metznaris will punch this in. Endpoint will start with an early lead.
And Alpha, he decided to go off the backboard. Perhaps it might have been better to whip around. It's tough to tell. Alpha making that split-second decision, going up the backboard. He didn't really have the space.
Nice touch. And I think I am back now. And we're back here. Another goal for Endpoint. And they're up 2 goals, James.
And I think I'm back now as well, Jarby. Oh, my goodness.
Excellent.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, and I think Endpoint is being heard by Vitality as well. In the first minute, 2 goals. Metznaris already getting a couple, which has been the biggest struggle for Endpoint, is finding that offensive ability, finding those offensive chances, and they're converting them early on. So we'll see if they change anything up, because I think that formula of going for the aggression, going for the bumps and demos is not really working as well against Vitality as it has against the previous opponents in this spring series.
And I mean, to his credit, for on Endpoint's side for Relating Wave, the owner of both assists. So hang on a second. Virtuoso attempted pass. Metznaris did pick it up, but he was screening the same side as Virtuoso.
And Virtuoso's still in net. Even though he's not getting the demos, he's getting the bumps. He's slowing players down. And so they're not really trying to, it looks like they're sticking with it, at least as much as they can, still looking for those chances.
It is still effectively early in the series, although I would definitely make the argument that Endpoint are at the point of no return. They lose this game, it's going to be real hard to climb back. That'll be a hard pitch over to K-Dop. It'll be cleared back the other way. It was Alpha, from Fairy Peak. But some long clears. Vitality are struggling to find offense, and they're taking shots to the net. There's another one. K-Dop will pick up the save. Fairy Peak, though, can't find the clear. Nobody on Vitality can find boost. Now look at Virtuoso hunting for that bump onto Alpha, but a one-on-one opportunity. Relating Wave just trying to keep the ball away. Vitality, a quick swing, pass, shot, blocked this time by Metznaris. Off the ceiling again. Alpha in the corner. Can't find the second touch, but Fairy's there. Up against the ceiling. K-Dop blocked again. Vitality looking for a goal. They're not going to get it. Here come Endpoint back to Vitality territory.
Defensive stand from Endpoint. Doing well to minimize the chances. Relating Wave, especially that double tap in the corner, but the zero angle shot. I can't believe Alpha beats out Metsunaris on this play.
Oh, wins the challenge and then hits the impossible angle. That's Alpha 54.
Metza,
tough angle to get.
he knew that was the only angle that Alpha had, but again, Alpha is just so quick, no hesitation, and then precision shooting.
Oh, Fairy almost did it himself off the backboard. Alpha tried to keep possession, and he'll accomplish his goal as Fairy Peak and K-Dop move towards the box. Alpha, shot towards K-Dop. Does he have it? Oh, off the top, Alpha picks up the goal. Vitality tie the game.
Disaster for Virtuoso. He's bumping off so many players. He tried to drive up the backboard, and he fell off. He actually hits off the crossbar and didn't have enough boost left in the tank. And that ball ends up going in. It looked like he had it. And then the go-ahead goal-off kickoff for Alpha. Vitality is coming back.
Two back, James. Alpha 54 again. Says that's okay. Virtuoso couldn't make that save, but now you can't even touch the ball. 127 kilometers per hour. He is putting in fastball after fastball in this series. And he's given his team a lead late here in game 4. Flip around once from Metsunaris, and it's a goal again off the challenge. The wheels have fallen off the wagon for Endpoint.
And you know who took him off? Alpha. Alpha, he's sitting over there with all the wheels, sitting on him, and just admiring his work as he dismantles, like you said, Jorby. He is dismantling this Endpoint team. 4 goals. He had a hat trick last game. How do you stop him?
There was a point in time when Alpha first joined this roster where there might have been still questions about, his replacement as Scrub Killer, but now he's just completely taking over games for Vitality, and he does it again! Massive save for Alpha off the shot from Endpoint. It feels like at this point they can do no wrong, but here's Virtuoso off the post. Metsunaris, no! Alpha 54 is a literal god!
As he gets demoed. I guess he still is mortal. But Alpha has been...
cast a curse there.
Alpha has just been unimaginably good. He is everything that you could have hoped for as in a Rocket League player. If you're a Vitality fan, you're thanking goodness you were able to lure him off at TSM. And yes, he had a slow start in the RLCS, but he is quickly rising to being arguably the best player. He is so good. But Metza puts Endpoint within 1. It is not over yet. Metsunaris getting a hat trick of his own.
We have been talking a lot about Alpha 54, but during that whole progression, they were on defense. And give credit to Endpoint. They were able to lock down midfield, eventually crack through, and now they've given themselves a decent chance here with 30 seconds remaining. Can they tie this back up in game 4? Or are Vitality going to pick up insurance heading into the 5th game of this set? K-Dop finds Alpha again. Metsunaris has been solid for Endpoint. Relating Wave having to chase this down against Fairy. And there, Alpha looking for a shot, but it's blocked this time. Fairy Peak next up. Shot going to be hard, but saved by Relating Wave. Vitality kill all this time off the clock. Endpoint have no clearing lane out, but they might actually get a chance here. Can anybody get there in time? No. Killing their dreams on the touch. Vitality are up 3-1 in this series.
And Alpha has been unstoppable, Jorby. 4 goals, scoring every single goal for Vitality. He's just having his way with Endpoint. It looks like he's playing a different level of Rocket League right now compared to anybody else out there on the field. Even the save that he got, predicting that shot location from, I believe it was Metsunaris, he kept Vitality in this one. So if you're Vitality though, this isn't necessarily something you can just wipe your hands off. Yeah, it's not over yet. And Alpha has been having to do so much work. So if Endpoint can find a way to minimize Alpha, if Virtuoso can get Alpha in his crosshairs and start bumping him, start getting him out of rotation, trying to demo him in some important moments, perhaps that could be enough for Endpoint to claw back in the series. But unless they come up with an answer to Alpha, it seems like Vitality is going to sail to a victory in this series.
Virtuoso might have his crosshairs zoned in on Alpha for this game, just a feeling with how he's played. But I do feel like Endpoint, it hasn't, this game plan that they had yesterday, it's not working right now against Vitality. While Virtuoso is slowing down some of the attack on Vitality, it's also putting him out of position on crucial counterattacks the other way. And then you have to play this acrobatic, panicky defense as you're racing back to try to keep the ball out of your net. So, for me, for Endpoint, I want to see some mix-ups. We saw a little bit of it on their attempted comeback. But Fairy Peak has a goal. No, he doesn't. I thought for sure he was going to have it. But Metzenares closes the gap. He's had himself quite a series. Despite the struggles for Endpoint, KDOP will keep the struggles alive with another goal for Vitality.
And that is not the start you want. If you're Endpoint 10 seconds in, already conceding a goal for Vitality. Vitality's starting to swarm. They smell blood in the water, and they are not holding back.
KDOP getting under this ball. Just a pass to Alpha. You won't be able to find this touch. A chance for Endpoint to move downfield. How do they do it? Metzenares squishes it against the ceiling, and now another counterattack. Drop to Alpha, and he just misses the shot, but he has the demo. Clearance for Fairy Peak. 2-goal lead.
The Alpha airstrike, he doesn't hit the shot, but he does get the demo. Deleting Relating Wave off the field. Fairy Peak has an open lane. Vitality. That was brutal, Jordy.
Alpha 54. I said it once, and I'll say it again. He is Vitality's sledgehammer. Today, a force that is unstoppable. KDOP in midfield here, giving way for Fairy Peak. And make no mistake about it, KDOP and Fairy Peak are absolutely pulling their weight in this series. They're just feeding Alpha the ball. Alpha again, KDOP to Alpha, and it's another goal, another day at the office for Alpha 54.
We're not even a minute in. Already everyone from Vitality has scored. Metza almost gets a touch on it. He was out of boost. Knew Alpha was coming in for the shot, but there was nothing he could do to stop it. And now the question is, do you think Endpoint can battle back with how good Vitality is playing? And honestly, Jorby, I don't think so at this moment.
At 3 goals down, we rarely see it at this level. But they've got plenty of time to do it. Virtuoso fakes out one. Forces Fairy Peak out. And Relating Wave also stole that boost. Again, the ideas are good here for Endpoint, but they just keep falling apart on these counterattacks. That is just what is killing them every single time. It's like they just expect that the ball's going to be coming back to them on the orange half, but then it's a massive clear. I mean, these boomers are so deadly from Vitality. And Endpoint just forced back every time.
What we're seeing is a good counter to this Virtuoso demo play. You see, even on that play, Virtuoso was hunting for that third man back, but what he wasn't expecting was the Alpha solo play. Alpha's just taking it downfield. He's air dribbling, forcing the defense in an awkward spot, and making it where when you have those two retreating defenders, it makes it tough to stop a rebound. And when Virtuoso's out of position, he can't stop the rebound. He's already committed going for those bumps and those demos. So Alpha is the counter to Virtuoso and that aggressive style of play. It's just not working against Vitality.
Virtuoso looking for a pass to Relating Wave, and he'll get demoed by Alpha. Half the game left. Endpoint are going to try again. Virtuoso on the carry. Got under it, but we'll have to let it go to KDOP. Only 2 shots on net for Endpoint through 2 minutes and 35 seconds. But they're starting to win some of these challenges, keeping the ball in Vitality territory. But the pressure gets relieved, and Alpha's got a little bit of space, a little bit of boost. You won't get it there. It's KDOP trying to come back in for Fairy Peak. Shot on net. Alpha 54, no boost save. Relating Wave will miss the rebound. Metzenares just trying to buy time as Fairy Peak hops all over him. Is there a 4th goal coming for Vitality? Alpha 54 thinks so. No! Relating Wave denies him the chance. Endpoint get the clear the other way, but it's just so much time off the clock for Endpoint. Still down 3.
And even in that situation, Alpha dodging a bump attempt, gets the save. His air dribbles have been too much. He's so good in the air, not only with the air dribbles, but on that double tap. That was a close range backward pass from Fairy Peak, and Alpha still almost double tapped it in. It is, I do not envy Endpoint in this series having to try to stop shot after shot from Alpha 54.
Popped up again. Fairy Peak will take it. Vitality in peak form right now. Or at least Alpha 54 is. And Fairy Peak and K-Dop content to play. Second fiddle to this tune in this series. As in the next series, it'll be Fairy Peak or K-Dop who pops off. That's the danger of this Vitality team, is at any moment, any one of these players can completely take over a game, and Endpoint will pick up a goal, but so much time has been chewed off this clock. You're talking miracle territory.
It's going to be very difficult, especially with how well Vitality's been holding up for most of this game. But this is hope. This is a chance. Off kickoff, maybe they can get something going, but it'll have to happen fast.
They'll have to do it from their own half. Alpha on top of one challenge. Virtuoso trying to find that clear out. Relating Wave, he won't even have a chance at the ball. Alpha with the demo, turns around, makes the challenge. Ooh, Fairy Peak faking on the challenge to take control of the ball. And that's the respect you're afforded when you've dominated Game 5 the way you have.
This is a chance.
Oh, the shot on, and it's no! Alpha 54! Another save!
Oh, that's heartbreak for Endpoint. Heartbreak.
No.
Relating Wave needed to get that goal, but Metsanaris keeps the hope alive for Endpoint. 5 seconds left on the clock, putting this one crossbar down. Jorby, we still have a game.
There could be hope for Endpoint. It all comes down to this kickoff. We are underway. Relating Wave, back to Virtuoso, shot on. Alpha 54 has the save. Alpha just got to put the ball on the ground, trying to kill it, and they do. Vitality, they hang on at the end, and they win against Endpoint.
And they are going to be moving on to the final. Vitality, the desk, especially Gibbs, was very vocal about